afternoon, y'all. I'm back with a May update. Big fun month. A lot of crazy things happened. Some hard things happened. All of the above. So let's get into it. My local farmers market started, so we did our first farmers market. I was like, I'll take a video, and then I took exactly one. So I just it wouldn't have even been enough for like clip in a vlog, so I just got rid of it. But I've been getting there's a local cheesemaker who makes the best feta cheese, and it's in like liquid. But if you can get that cheese, the feta cheese that's in the liquid, and then you do dates, peanut butter, and some feta cheese, oh my gosh, it's so good. It's like sweet and savory and like, oh, it's so good. So I've been doing a lot of that. And then my husband and Story, or my youngest daughter, and I all went on a hike. There is a video of that. We just spent the day at the lake, just very present with them. Had a really good time. And then my youngest daughter had her own farmer's market at her school. There were some disappointments with it, and also it was just really chaotic and busy. And so we got like a few things, and then we just got the heck out of there. So I did do a hike with my friend Randy. We only did one this month because of the way it worked out, but we went to a new hike. I had done previously like 1 mile of it and then gone back, so I did like 2 miles of that like overall, but it was the same 1 mile. And then this one we actually finished it. It was really beautiful hike. Can't wait to go back. So we really just talked this time about connecting like on the same things and feeling the same way, and like just getting to know each other's values and core beliefs and stuff. So, but we haven't been able to hike since. We're supposed to go tomorrow, which this will come out after that will happen. We'll see. I'm hoping it'll happen. I should text her. And then my family did a hike for Mother's Day weekend. I did a video of it. My oldest, my youngest, and my husband all came, so my whole family was there, minus my animals. But we don't like to take them out into the woods. They're COVID dogs, and they are aggressive. They bite people. They're our dogs, and they're only our dogs, and only we get to enjoy them, and that's fine. So, that day, a friend of mine called me while I was out in the woods, and she left a message telling me that there were legal papers at her house because I used to live with her, and I went and picked them up, and it was it was papers telling me my father died. My dad abandoned. So I have 2 siblings that are my dad's kids and my mom's, and then I have, And then I have 2 siblings. No, is that right? I have 3 siblings. There we go. I don't talk to any of my family, so I'm forgetting who I'm related to, and now I have them. I have 3 siblings who are half siblings, and I have 2 siblings who are full-blooded siblings. They're both older than me. One's 4 years older than me, one's 18 months older than me, and I'm the youngest of those 3. I am not the youngest of my siblings, but I am the youngest of those 3. So my father was around for about 4 to 5 years, if not more, and then when my mom got pregnant with me, he took off. So I have never met this man. And what's crazier is probably a month or 2 ago, I was like, I'm gonna Google if my dad's alive. And so I was like Googling. I knew the last known location was in Oregon, so I was Googling his name and Oregon, and I was just Googling his name, and like some obituaries came up, and so I was reading them because I was like, he's about that age. But none of them were for him. But one of them was weirdly like this guy in North Dakota who had my dad's name and my uncle's name, and then one of his nephews, the man who had my dad's name, one of his nephews was my brother's name, and his mother's name was very similar to my grandmother's name. It was just really weird, like very similar, very similar. So, but I never like found his obituary, so I was just, I had the same friend who called me to tell me I had the legal papers. She had the joke that my mom was Schrodinger's parent, because I didn't know if she was alive or dead because I don't talk to her. And to be honest, all my family members are Schrodinger family members because I don't know if they're alive or dead because I don't talk to any of them. And so this was like really weird because I just always kind of wondered if I'd know if my dad died, and then I got legal papers telling me he died. So just really weird. Really weird. And that happened the day before Mother's Day. Yeah. And then Mother's Day happened, which was much better than that. Just stayed home with my family, really enjoyed it. So overall, a really good weekend, just like sandwiched between some weirdness, or within some, there was a sandwich meat of weirdness. Very weirdness. So my family, my husband and my youngest daughter and I watched that Netflix movie called Swapped. It really affected me. I really liked how it was about community and working together, and honestly, it really like showed my vision for the future of like, because like I've always like, so when COVID happened, there was like, one of the problems was like manufacturing couldn't keep up with masks or ventilators or whatever. And so like my vision for the future is that the community steps in. And so like say a mask manufacturer in town can't keep up with mask productions, and so like the local foreman for another company would come in and he would help manage things. He would take direction from the actual foreman there, but he would help manage things, and he'd bring his team in to help ramp up production. And they would take that on. Oh, I'm gonna cry. They would take that on instead of what their job is normally. And the local admin worker would come in and help do admin tasks, and the local shipping and receiving clerk would come in and help do shipping and receiving. This happens. If you watched any of these videos, you know this happens to me every time. And oh man, the tingles. So that's just my vision for the future, is the entire community coming together and them pulling together and not saying it's the government's job. No, it is our job. We are responsible. So let's take some responsibility and let's show initiative. So, but that's what that that video or the movie really showed me, that like that vision again. And it was how the smallest person can make a huge and lasting impact. It was a little tiny rat guy, little tiny rat, and he changed everything without even meaning to. Every time. I should just get tissue and like have tissue every time this starts. I'm like, I'm not gonna cry this time, and then watch me. Look at me. I'm a mess. I'm not. I don't like saying that about myself, actually. Let's say some affirmations. I am enough. I am more than enough. I am coping. I'm sensitive, and I'm allowed to be sensitive. And being sensitive is not a bad thing. In fact, being sensitive means that I am aware of so much things that many people are not. So I'm not a mess. I'm sensitive, and that's a good thing. Okay. I might cry again. Songs that really affected me this month. Fire by Vincent Lima. The lyrics are, I ran through the fire and I held out my hand. I'm not here to save you. I don't have a plan. I just feel that in my soul. I keep talking about, like, especially in my house, I am a lighthouse. I stand on the shore and I shine my light bright out into my family's ocean. And they are each in a rowboat, and sometimes they can see my light and they are rowing towards me. And other times there's such a thick fog that they're screaming at me, "Where are you? I'm scared I'm gonna crash into the coastline." But all my job is to do is shine my light out. And so I'm just gonna reach out my hand and shine my light and say I'm here when you need me, you know? Pink Skies by Zach Bryan. I don't know if this is a cover or what, but this specific version of the song, because I've heard other versions of it, this specific version of it, oh my gosh. The very ending, when he's talking about the pocket knife going missing and how the girl was able to cut all of her own ribbons and it made the other guy nervous, but it was just they were taught different lessons. Like, we're all taught different lessons, and just like her, she was taught a different lesson than he was, and it's a beautiful song. Wouldn't it be amazing if we could all see our own funerals, you know? What happens when we die? Like, the celebration, the sadness, like, would we want them to be sad? I don't want anyone to cry for me when I die. I want them to celebrate. I want them to be excited that they met me and that they got to be with me. But I mean, I guess they can be sad because I don't want anybody to deny their feelings, but more than anything, I want them to celebrate. Kingdom of Fear by Cameron Whitcomb. If you have not heard this song, it is just describes the earth. I heard it and then I sent it to a friend and she was like, oh my god. And then my husband, we went on a trip, which I'll talk about, and he was playing his music and I was like, did you hear me playing him? And he was like, no, I saw a video and it just, like, I really liked it. And then it was that song. So it's a really good song. And then Run by Sydney Christmas. Excuse me. It's in my running playlist and I cry every time I listen to it. But the first time I listened to it, it didn't affect me very much. But, like, now when I'm exercising and listening to it, like, there's something different about it. I don't know. I did a hike with the Well-Traveled Woman here on YouTube. We did a first hike. I think that was our first hike together. No. In December, we went to Glacier Park, but it was our first hike alone together, so that was really cool. That one was really fun because we didn't check the map before we left, and I didn't realize I don't get any service in that city, and so we were like just like following the trails and just like hoping we end up somewhere. And like we went off on one and we're like, yeah, this is a trail, and then it just like ended and we were like, oh, okay. So we turned back around and then like we finally like walked far enough that we found a map, and we were going the completely wrong way, but like we had to turn around and go the other way. And I was like, it was so much fun. We got lost together. It was so much fun. And then that weekend I did my 5K race. My time was 42:09. I was 452nd out of 733. I did my video the day after, and like 2 days later, the the like race sent me the final stats, and it was slightly off by like, I said 451 out of 729, I think, in my 5K video, but it turned out to be 452 out of 733. The age group was still correct in that video. I was 35th out of 58, which is like pretty much middle of the pack for both of those. And as a brand new runner with asthma, I'm feeling fantastic about those numbers. My pace was a 13:36. I could not be happier. I could not be happier. And there is a video of that if you're interested. Following that, I went through a pretty dark week. Got really depressed, and then some really hard personal things came up. And then honestly, it was just 2 weeks of my triggers being the most triggered they have been in years. They were just, I was an open wound, and everything triggered me, and I was just like, from the new moon to the full moon to the blue moon, I was just an open wound of triggers, just constantly being triggered and bleeding on everyone. So sorry about that. But during that time, I was watching Try Guy interviews about what happened with them and Ned Fulmer and the scandal that happened. I watched videos about like what happened, and then I watched videos with them talking about during the early years, and then them talking in the later years. And it was crazy how the scandal allowed them to change their trajectory. Like this huge thing that seems like this bad, awful thing. A drought, you know? A drought on a farm, and you're like, oh, it's really, really bad, but we'll see, actually, we'll see, because the drought on the farm turned out to be one of the best things ever for the Try Guys. And I think that's just it's the universe showing me they're in everyone's life, whether we believe in them or not. So that was just really cool. And something Keith said in one of his interviews was that the grief cycle was not just 5 stages of grief. It was a circle, and he just kept coming back around, and he kept coming back around. And everyone always says healing's not linear. Well, you're telling me what it is not, right? That doesn't help me. You're not telling me what it is. What is healing? Healing's a circle. It's a circle. It's a spiral. It's a circle. Whatever you want to, like, whatever, it's a ripple, as you heal, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And sometimes you come back around and you're right back where you started, and you're like, why am I here? I have healed all these wounds. And then you start to move through the stages again, and then the circle gets even bigger that time. The muscle grows. I was also watching Last Meals with Hank Green and Sean Evans, and I found something really interesting. Hank Green talked about his curiosity for life, and Sean Evans talked about his curiosity into people. And both of these people attributed these things to like the momentum of their life. And I find that very interesting because I am curious about myself. I am always going inward, and I'm always checking in to see my beliefs, and like sometimes my beliefs are really hard, and they're like, ew, why would you think that about someone? But like that's part of the journey, is accepting it, because like I can change those beliefs, and judging them and saying, ew, why do you believe that, is not going to help me change any more than shaming myself did. So I just found it interesting. They were talking about curiosity, and I just have this relationship with curiosity in myself. Also, Sean Evans said he wanted to come back after he dies to be himself. again. And I just get that. Like, it's hard to say that I would want to do that because my first 20 years were really tumultuous, and then the next 10 years were really survival, and then now I'm only like in year 6, 7, 8 of healing and starting to thrive. Like, why would I want to come back as myself? Because it's so fun. Oh my gosh, the hikes I've been on lately and the runs I've been on, and I get it. I had a really big realization, and it hit me hard. So it's just one of those epiphanies that I find that the more I go within, the more epiphanies I have about my faith. And this was one of them, and it was a realization of, what if Source is learning as much from us as we are learning from them? As we learn and grow, so does Source. We are how God grows. Like, as I learn to love myself, Source is learning to love even more unconditionally, like, which is crazy to think because Source is so unconditionally loving. Like, all I have to do is turn to them when I am feeling uncompassionate and miserable, and they will show me a little bit of love that I need to like pull me through. So they are learning from us as we are learning from ourselves. So continue to just follow your intuition, because you're teaching God how to grow. How cool is that? My family, well, everybody except for my oldest was at work, but me and my youngest and my husband went and did our first day at Flathead Lake. It's a pretty big deal when you live near Flathead Lake because it's glacial water, and so like it's snow melt, and so when it finally gets warm enough to go in there, I didn't go fully in. It was still really dirty from the water being pushed in from the rivers and everything, but it'll settle down and it'll start to clear up soon. But my youngest just had a ball and just stayed in the water for like an hour. So me, my youngest, and my husband did a 3-day trip out of town. My husband had a conference, and so my youngest and I pretty much just like spent the time together, and we went to I've talked about this before, but like some of my towns have carousels in them, so we went to the carousel and we rode the carousel. We went to Science Museum. We walked around, we saw the Federal Reserve, we saw the courthouse. We did a hike while we were there, which a little bit of that is in my week 14 fitness vlog. And then on the trip back, we stopped off at a like scenic viewing place, and I pulled up my All Trails, and it was like the Continental Divide Trail was right there. And so I went out and I got on it, and I had been really dark that morning, so dark that I was like crying like on camera, and like couldn't run because I was just so emotional. And I stepped onto that trail, and it was like just like left, and like all I was left with was like feeling happy and feeling joyful, and like seeing how cool nature is. And just like, if you don't know what the Continental Divide is, it's where the water changes direction. So on the west side of the country, it flows one way, I believe, south or north to south. What is that? South to down south to the south. And then on the east side of the country, it flows another way. And I believe it flows north, but don't quote me on that. But it does switch directions. Do quote me on that. But there's something completely outrageous to me about that. Like, it's a miracle, you know? Like, the water just switches directions. Like, that, there's something about that that's just, it's not it's not based in reality. And I know scientists can explain it and blah, blah, but to me, it is like pure work of the universe at work in our lives. And like that, you can see it there. Like, and I don't know, I felt at peace while I was on that trail, which there is, in Glacier Park, you actually go, when you do the entire Continental Divide as you go towards Canada, you do go through Glacier National Park. So I could technically go and do another part of it. I believe it's the Highline Trail, and I'm so afraid of heights. I just don't have, every part of me is like, no. So it was just nice being on that trail, and I wouldn't mind going back and doing more of it because it was really gorgeous. And then that week was my birthday, and so the well-traveled woman invited me over to her house, and we went for a hike, and then we had like tea, and we did tarot cards on her porch, and just like it all just like connected back to what we were talking about on our hike, and it just like complete confirmation, and it was just like really good conversation, and just like honestly, we both kind of forgot it was my birthday because we were just having such a good time and just hanging out. And but like, you know, she like made me feel special. She got me a present and everything, and like all like just a really wonderful time. So like really good way to spend my birthday, and I'm just happy with it. But oh, my timer's going off. I'm making cake. It is rhubarb season, so I made like a rhubarb breakfast type cobbler that I make with I make a like oat banana bread mix, and I just made that without the bananas and put it on the rhubarb, and then I also made a rhubarb cake. Yum. And then the day after my birthday, I came home that night, and I had asked my family to go on a family hike for my birthday, and they all agreed, which was great. But my husband got really, really sick, and he actually is still sick. He got sick, thankfully, the day or the night we got back from our trip. And so he's just been really sick, and he couldn't go on a hike. And so I was telling my oldest, like, hey, we're probably not going to go on a hike. And she's like, well, if you want, we can just go on a hike, you and me. And I was like, really? You'd do that for me? And she was like, yeah, totally. And so I was like, would you be willing to go to Glacier Park and we'll go do Avalanche Trail? And she was like, yeah, totally. I really, if it's something you care about, I want to do it for you. Which was just amazing to hear. If you want someone to feel good, say those words to them. And so we went on a hike, the two of us. Just had a grand old time. That video was posted this morning, actually, so you can watch that before this video if you want. We got to see a bear. I didn't get video of it, but we did get to see a grizz. Just the waterfalls were absolutely raging. I've always wanted to go in the spring, and I just had a really, really good time. And I just am really proud of my oldest and I, because we used to have a really hard relationship from ages 12 to 17. She pretty much just was angry at me for all the things I ever did. And I did a lot of things wrong, and so I had to take accountability for all of those, and I had to apologize a lot. I spent ages 12 through 17 apologizing every day pretty much, and messing up more during those years, and then apologizing even more. And spending a lot of time trying to like learn how to be compassionate to her and learn how to be supportive, because I didn't know how to be supportive. Something I talk about a lot is like, if you don't have a concept of something, like you can't be that. Like if you don't have a concept of what real love is, you're not gonna, like you don't know how to give real love. Like if your only concept of love is pain and suffering, then you're just going to give pain and suffering as your love. And that's what I did. And it was my therapist who taught me a real concept of love and compassion. And I thank her every day, because without her, like, I wouldn't have been able to go on this hike with my teenager. And she recently told me thank you for going to therapy. And so, like, I'm just, this month reminded me, no, not reminded me, it showed me that all the hard work I have been putting in, oh, I'm gonna cry. It showed me all the hard work I've been putting in is paying off. And a lot of that hard work was emotionally hard work. It had nothing to do with going out and working a job or hiking a trail or any of that stuff. It was emotionally hard work, apologizing for things that I wanted to defend myself for, taking personal responsibility for things that were technically not even my fault. They were the fault of the generations before me for me just repeating cycles, but I took responsibility and I broke the cycle with my teenager, and now we have an amazing relationship, and I'm celebrating that right now. So let's celebrate it together and just say, wow, what a wonderful thing. Like, the rupture and repair cycle. Like, I really ruptured the relationship a lot of times, but I also did the work to repair the relationship. A lot of apologies, a lot of support, a lot of compassion for both her and myself, but a lot of discomfort, sitting in a lot of discomfort. So just really, I can't say enough good things about it. And then the last thing technically did happen on June 1st, but I'm so excited about it. I cannot wait another month to share it. And honestly, I ordered it on April 17th, my husband's birthday, and it got here on June 1st because of the shipping company. But I ordered a new couch in April. And it is here finally, and it is huge, and it is cozy, and it is comfy, and it's everything I wanted in a couch. The only problem is it's a little big for my current house, so it doesn't quite go with the flow of things, but I don't even care because it just feels so big and right, and it's my dream couch, and I've had it on a wish list for 3 years, and I finally could afford it, and everything aligned for me to afford this couch, because like literally like 2 days after I ordered it, I went and checked back at the price, and it was off sale at that point and $2,000 more and out of my price range at that point. So everything worked out, and now the couch is here, and my husband loves it. I love it. My dog, oh my gosh, my dog Draco, he loves this couch. It is like so fluffy, and he spends all of his time just chilling on the couch now, which he was more of a like, he loves small tight spaces, and so he loves under my bed, and we had a chair that he really loved going under, and we got rid of that chair for this couch, and I was like, oh no, we're taking away his spot. He loves the couch too much. We didn't take away his spot. All of the animals love the couch. That was my month, what I experienced, what I felt, what I saw, what I heard. And then what I finished this month was a tube of toothpaste, and then we had to buy more replacement, actually, because we finished, I don't know, I think it's 5 or 6 packs in the Costco pack, but we finished all of those. I finished an Eco Slay, SLAY hair gel. I've been trying the Cantu products, and I'm really happy with it, so I just bought Cantu as a replacement. I finished a lactic acid lotion. Turns out I'm allergic to that. I have been, if you've been following these videos, I have been going through a bunch of different lotions that I had, and I kept getting these like red itchy patches on my on my elbows and my knees. And while I was using the CeraVe and the Lubriderm, it started going away. And then as soon as I started the lactic acid lotion again, it started getting really bad. I bought an entire another one before I even realized it. And then I was like, I gotta stop. So I immediately stopped and started using other products. Bought Lubriderm. So now I unfortunately do have a full thing of lactic acid lotion that I can't use but my husband likes, but he doesn't use lotion very often, so I'm trying to encourage him. And then now I'm using Lubriderm. That's going to be my official new lotion. However, I will still need to buy CeraVe because I am still using the tretinoin. That is going very well. But the Lubriderm is not thick and moisturizing enough for the tretinoin. So I do have to use the CeraVe with the tretinoin as a face cream. And then I used up a carpet refresher, like, you know, those powders you put on your carpet, and then I bought a replacement. Y'all, I finished the last of the honey that I bought in 2024. I finished it. It's gone. The Costco, the farmer's market, it's all gone. So I did buy a replacement from Costco because they had the squeezy ones and we're like feeling kind of conveniency, so we went with that. And then I finished a Kirkland bar soap. It was a body soap that I was using, but it's just a Kirkland bar soap. Still no replacement because I still have quite a few of those to go through. I finished another safety razor blade. I have no replacement needs for at least 1 billion years, if not my life at the very least. I bought a year's supply and it turned out to be a lifetime supply. There's these like Listerine mint strips. They're basically like mouthwash strips. I love them. I buy a 5-pack and I keep them in my car and I just keep one going all the time. My husband likes them. I like them. My kids like them. And if we like need a refresher while we're in the car, we have a little refresher. And so I did use one of those up. Still don't need a replacement though. And I used up a creatine. My husband and I used up a creatine, so we only have one last creatine to go through, and then we could buy a new creatine. Don't know what we're going to do. Costco has those watermelon gummies, but also, I've been hearing a lot about how, like, gummies are pretty much just a waste of money, and it's better to just drink your creatine. I tried putting it in my coffee this morning, because I keep forgetting, because, like, if it's rainy out, I don't need electrolytes as bad. And so I haven't been drinking as many electrolytes because it's been rainy. And so I put it in my coffee this morning, and sometimes it does take the flavor out of stuff, but it didn't do it in my coffee. So I'm going to try that over the next week and see if that is doable. Because if I can just put it in my coffee, then I drink a coffee every morning and that would work. And then I used up a Jamaican lime and mango scalp castor oil. Now I think the lime and mango is the name of the brand because it didn't smell like lime or mango. It was very oily smelling. I really liked that. My hair is very thick, for sure, and my scalp was very happy with that. But we're trying Dew Goo this time. Don't love the smell of that one so far, but I do love the application process better. I finished one book this month. It was an 800-page book, so I am happy with the amount of books I read. And it was the Priori of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. 5 out of 5. Loved this story. The only problem I had with it is, once again, at the end, authors are trying to keep my romance away from me and keep people apart, and I'm just, Eragon did that to me too. But 5 out of 5. Loved that book. Amazing, intriguing, interconnected, just kept me wanting more. Like, I could easily put away 100 pages on that every day, except for I didn't always have times. But, like, anytime I picked it up, I was just nose to book, just reading. And then one of the things that I loved about it that Eragon also did was the glossary of fantasy terms at the end. It made it much more easy to understand the book if I could go back and be like, well, I don't know what that meant, and then look it up. because I did DNF a book this year, if you remember, because there was too many fantasy terms introduced without any explanation of any of them. So it was just chaos. A glossary would have solved that problem. I might have been able to finish it because I could have looked back and been like, oh, that's his grandma. And then I could remember that that term means grandma, right? But like, without it, it was just chaos. Highly recommend, if you're a fantasy author, adding a glossary of terms. Some of the quotes that I absolutely loved from that book were, this is gonna be a little weird, but the two words were divine rain, R-A-I-N. But when I said it to Christina, she was like R-E-I-G-N, what is it? Is that right? Whatever. You know what I mean. And both just feel right. Another quote, we may be small, we may be young, but we will shake the world for our beliefs. Yeah. Come on, Gen Z. Come on, Gen Alpha. Millennials. Hey, it's not too late for us to change the world with our beliefs, right? They had a like alchemist like tableau that they kept talking about, and one of the terms on it was, what is below must be balanced by what is above. So within, so without, as above, so below. And then she would not have believed it from Caliaba alone, but her explanations formed the thread that held the beads together. So it was like she had the breadcrumbs, and then someone else gave her to the trail and showed her the trail. And she was like, oh, okay. And I've been there. Just because something has always been done does not mean it ought to be done. Lots of things in our current systems that keep happening because we're just not wanting to change things, because it's just been done that way for so long. You can find beauty anywhere. I was just talking to Christina about this, especially in nature. I'm so excited to go out into my local city's trails and just seeing how beautiful the world can be. Would the world be any better if we were all the same? Certainly not, although it would be a little more compassionate. And then the last one, you might not believe in the saints, but a higher power has care for you. My cake is done. I'll read that last one again, but I'm so excited. It smells so good. Like my whole house just smells incredible right now. Anyways, it was, you might not believe in the saints, but a higher power has care for you. What have I been saying in the last two videos? People do not know about the universe, but the universe still exists in their life, right? Actually, one thing that happened this month that I didn't write down was my daughter's really interested, my oldest is really interested in joining the military, and she was telling me how you can bring one religious book and it has to be one of the like documented religions. And I'm like, that's not fair. My religion doesn't exist yet. She says, that sucks for you. So, next month excitement. My youngest is out of school this next week. And anyways, sorry, my husband interrupted. My youngest is out of school this next week. As of today, she has 4 days left, and then when this video is posted, she'll only have 3 days left. So very excited to have some time with her. Spending a little vacation time with her was really nice because it was like oh, this is what summer is going to be like. She's not a big fan of hiking, but I'm going to try and get her more excited about it this year, get her some walking and some hiking, take her to some lakes that are, you have to hike to, just like more fun things. And then, really excited about some lake days this summer. We've been hiking to some lakes, which has been really fun because then there's pretty much no one at that lake except for us, or maybe some people fishing. But yeah, just like more secluded. Really excited for some new hikes. It's going to be a little harder with my youngest home from school, but that doesn't mean I won't do them, right? So. And then summer solstice is in June, which is ironic because it's on Father's Day, which is almost like a little celebration for me. It's been a year since the Well-Traveled Woman and I did a session. Really interested to see what comes up in the next couple months, and just excited to live life. So feeling on the upswing of my like triggery open wound darkness feeling, and just like got out into the sun today and really enjoyed it. It's also been raining a lot the last couple of days, which almost like whoosh, washed away all the bad energy and just like felt really good. So plus getting into Glacier National Park really helped, and hiking with the Well-Traveled Woman really helped. So I guess I'll leave you here. I'll see you in the next one. And remember, as always, to be kind to yourself, because sometimes the kindness is the only way to get through the darkness. So that's what I learned this month. Be kind to yourself.